Hey guys, we're back. It's Hand of Justice here, and we're going to be doing a standard event today with a budget version of the Boros Humans deck. So basically this deck is going to be completely made up of common and uncommon wildcards, so it should be possible for anyone to craft this deck, and I want it to be as accessible as possible for everybody. So to kind of quickly go through the basics of the deck, you have basically the borrowed time here, which is going to be one of your removal targets. And what this does is a 3 mana, when borrowed time enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent, and opponent controls until borrowed time leaves the battlefield. So you have that. You also have 4 copies of Ossification, which basically does the same thing for 2 mana, except it can also target a planeswalker. And it does require you to have basics. So since you are running in this version 8 plains and 5 mountains, you should have plenty of targets there for your Ossification. So that's kind of the removal suite. And then you have the aggressive creatures. So we are dipping into red for Imidane's Recruiter, which has the ability to not only create 2/2 white knights, 2/2 tokens with vigilance for 5 mana as an adventure, but you can also use it to give your entire army haste and +1/+0 till end of turn. So super powerful. And then we've also got Sunrise Cavalier, which is a 3/3 that kind of is heralding back from some of the older Boros decks, but 3 mana, 3/3 trample haste, and then it can get additional counters there by whenever night changes to day or day changes to night after it comes in. So a nice other aggressive creature here for you from red. We also have Baird, Argivian Recruiter, and this guy is kind of fun because you do have a fair number of ways of getting higher than your regular beginning base power for creatures here on this deck, and whenever you have a creature that has higher base power at its during the end step of your turn, you get a 1/1 white soldier creature token. So nice way to kind of get some advantage here. The other creatures that we've got, you've got 8 1-drops here. You have 4 recruitment officers, which help you kind of search out more creatures late game as a 2/1 here for 1. And then you have 4 copies of Lunarch Veteran, which also kind of help you get started and then gain some life along the way. For our 2-drops, we've got Coppercoat Vanguard, which pumps all of your other humans, and every creature in this deck is a human, so that's kind of nice. You've also got 4 copies of Knight of Dawn's Light, which is a 2/2 first strike for 2, and whenever you would gain life, you gain that much life +1, and then you can pump it for +1/+1 for 1 white and 1 other as much as you have mana, and you can do that at instant speed, which is nice. You also have Rafine's Informant, which is a 2 mana 2/1, and then when it comes in to the battlefield, it connives, and so you draw a card and discard a card, and if you discard a non-land card, you get a +1/+1 counter on it. So that kind of rounds out the deck. It's pretty straightforward. You do have 4 Windscarred Crags, which do gain you some life. Kind of a nice little combo here with your Knight of Dawn's Light, and also just helps you be able to play all your mana here sort of as effectively as possible. You do have 4 Secluded Courtyards, which are going to be naming human for this deck. And again, everything here is common and uncommon wildcards. So with all that said, let's go ahead and jump in to a standard event. But yeah, I had a lot of fun doing a standard event here with the budget version of the mono red deck, and so I kind of just if you guys are liking this kind of format, let me know, but it is a lot of fun to just kind of see how well they can do against a regular standard field, and also just because it's nice and everyone's able to afford these kinds of decks. If you're new here, thank you so much for stopping by my channel. I really appreciate you guys, and if you like my content, consider subscribing or adding a like or a comment. And if you're one of my returning viewers, again, thank you guys so much for being here. You really do mean the world to me, so thank you. All right, opening hand is great. We've got access to all the mana we need, and we've got a nice little curve, 1/2 3-drop. So we'll go ahead and get started here. Okay, up against what looks like mono blue. No reason to play our courtyard yet. We'll just go ahead, and I think we'll lead out here with a copper coat to try to start getting aggressive. So he probably has the Fading Hope here, which wouldn't surprise me. Timely Interference. Huh. Okay. Works for me. Okay, very different deck with blue-green. Have not seen this before, so not really sure what he's running. But we're going to go ahead and try to resolve one of our Cavaliers here. Start getting into the red zone. All right. And again, I don't know what kind of tricks he's got, but we will find out. Okay, so he shrunk our team a little bit, which is fine. Okay, great timing here. We've got Borrowed Time, so that seems like a natural play here just so we can keep pushing in. And now we've got him on the ropes. Recruiter next turn should end the game. So we might have some other kind of nonsense here, but this should be pretty much done. Unless he has like a big march of Swirling Mists, I think that might do it. Okay, he does have March. I don't think it's going to be enough. All right, 1-0. There also will be a link to the list in the description, and that should be on Untapped GG. Okay, opening hand looks great. We've got access to all of our mana. And a nice little curve here again, so happy to lead out. This is kind of like, do we lead out with Veteran to try to get like the extra life or just kind of push for more pressure here? I guess I don't really know. We'll just lead out with the Veteran in case we're up against like mono red. Yeah, Duress is going to be a straight whiff in this deck. Or I guess we do have some removal pieces, but not in hand. Okay, Borrowed Time looks great. I think at this point we can just go ahead and toss the Recruitment Officer, as it's the weakest card in our hand. And we've got a bunch of Boom Booms coming. We want to make sure we have enough land to cast everything. And we get a nice little counter here. Okay, up against Golgari. So Borrowed Time is a nice target here. That way he doesn't get to recur everything and we can push through with both. There are a lot of other like pretty decent targets. So if he plays like Glissa next turn, I would kind of want to have the Borrowed Time ready, as it will shut everything down. So maybe instead we just go Cavalier here and let him get a little bit of value and block. That's probably right. And actually here, since we're just pushing damage, I'm even okay if he blocks the Veteran. So I think if he just wants to block Veteran here, I'm okay with that too. So our opponent thinking quite a bit about what to do here. All right, we do get the extra point through, so happy we sent everybody. Okay, there's the Glissa. So luckily we were ready to go. Yep, still nothing. Okay, Imodane's Recruiter is going to be great, but we can do that a little bit later. Right now, we'll just go ahead and use our Sunrise Cavalier to push some more damage. So I'm expecting Go for the Throat here, something like that. There it is. Okay, we got Shieldred. So if we draw the land, which is great. Now if we go Knight of Dawn's Light plus Recruiter, I believe that's lethal. So he blocks here, and then he takes 2, 5. Yep, that should be lethal. Okay. And GG. Yeah, so key play there was waiting for the Glissa, knowing that that was something that would brick wall us. Two and 0. And if you guys do end up using these decks, either in like standard events or if you use them like on ladder, I would love to know in the comments like how they're working for you. Hopefully you guys find a lot of success. You know, my purpose here is to really build some decks that you can actually use and get some wins off of. Okay, opening hand looks great. We don't have red mana yet for Recruiter, but I'm pretty happy with the rest of our hand, so I'm happy to keep here. We do have 13 sources in the deck, so should be able to draw some red here eventually. Okay, up against Selesnya Enchantments. Here, I think we're just going to go ahead and add in Copper Coat and see if they want to make the trade. Yeah, and I'm happy to make that trade any day. This one a bit less so, because they're just going to get this back, so that's not as fun. I think we just start building up our board here. he wants to trade this for veteran, I think I'm probably happy to do that, though. A little bit surprised we didn't see an attack there. So now I think that having him get back his Kami is probably fine. So I think here I will be happy attacking with everything. Yeah, he definitely has some stuff he can do next turn. But I'm happy to try to fight the Calyx. I guess the one thing we should consider is if he has like ossification, although he can't use ossification yet. So you'd need like a regular basic in order to do that. But if he had like a basic plus ossification, he would have enough to remove our blocker if we send everybody and then be able to get another one, and that could be potentially a blowout. So maybe we only send 2 guys here. I think we definitely send at least 2. And it is a little bit of a risk, but I think we kind of like this. This is going to spiral out of control for us, so I think we want to send everybody. Like, if he had basics in play, I probably would not do this attack. I might just send 2. Okay, so he does have the basics, so he could threaten. And if he was holding that up, that could be a heads-up play. But we are kind of on like a time crunch against this deck because it does just get crazy. Oh, this is super annoying. So now he can make another Weaver of Harmony, buff his entire team again, and get another counter on Kami of Transience. Is it better to just chump with Vanguard? It just feels so bad. Yeah, it probably would have been better to only send 2 guys instead of the full 3. So that was probably a little bit greedy on my part. I think this will spiral out of control if we don't block. Okay, Baird is nice, but we don't have the red mana, which really sucks. So I think we were in kind of a rough spot here. Yeah, and it's starting to spiral, and now feels like the advantage is so far ahead for him. Here we're happy to block Calyx to prevent more nonsense. We can try to dig and see if we can find some piece of removal here. Okay, well, at least we have the mountain, so we can get rid of one of the recruiters. Play the Baird. Could push with Vanguard here, but he would just block with the companion, so no thanks on that. Alright, Michiko's Reign of Truth is going to be super rough, because he'll be able to pump his Trampler here, We're at 17, so we're at a decently healthy total, but he can copy it with Weaver of Harmony, and that's going to be really nasty. Okay, so we need removal here for Kami stat, but I think we definitely want to try to kill the Calyx if we can. So I guess these two can block Calyx. Copper Coat can block Companion. It's not ideal because otherwise we're taking lethal. And then we need to, or we could have like our Recruiter, but I think Recruiter we want to keep around to try to get extra tokens. I think we'll do it like this. We're probably drawing dead here, but it's, there's the Borrowed Time. So we can Borrowed Time as Kami. And we don't have enough mana to do anything else, so he can unfortunately just attack with these two for lethal next turn. But we'll go through the motions. I think we needed Borrowed Time a little bit earlier there for his Calyx. That was just such a problem. Okay, and he's got Skrelv, but should all be irrelevant when he attacks. Okay. And that's going to do it, unfortunately. That is definitely a really tough matchup, but all the removal really helps there. All right, so 2-1 so far. Yeah, hand looks great. We've got both colors of mana. 1-drop, 2-drop. Feeling great about this. Start off with the Veteran here. Maybe get a little bit of life on the way. And it looks like it was the right choice up against Mono Red. Or maybe this is the Gruul Picnic Ruiner deck. So here, let's get Rafine's Informant going, and then we can get Baird, I think, after that to try to start making some tokens. So with that said, I think I'm going to lead out here with a Mountain. I guess we could have attacked there first. That actually might have been good to attack first. Well, I like Veteran. I think maybe Officer is probably the weakest card here, because next turn we can go like Veteran plus Baird. Yeah, so we're going to just pass. Although actually, if we attack now, I think this is fine. Because we're at 21, I don't think he can just get there. And then we want to push a little bit of damage. If he wants to block right now, it's fine. He doesn't kill our Informant. And no blocks there. Okay, so he does want to take out Informant, unfortunately. Oh, okay, he's just going face, sure. All right, now we'll go Veteran into Baird, and this feels pretty good. Start getting some value, and we can start Push and face here. I think actually on this turn, well, we'll have the 1/1 from Baird. I might want to leave back this Informant in case he has like Godric, or if he has like Squee, something like that. But even if he has Squee, we can like block with the 1/1 and our Veteran. And if he does Godric, I'm happy to trade these two for it. So I think I'm actually fine just getting in some damage here. Yeah, plus this is a nice combo here, making extra tokens, gaining extra life, just feels great. What have you got, Mono Red? Yeah, Phoenix Chick is not going to do it. Main deck Lithomatic Barrage. What the heck? Okay, sorry about that weird audio there. That was weird. Okay. So he's got the Play with Fire for our other creature, yeah. Okay, let's just go ahead and race, I guess. He could still have... I guess if he had like Squee next turn, it'd be super annoying. But it's fine. Forage is super interesting, actually. Get rid of his Forage and keep racing. And we've got enough mana here to go Copper Coat also, which is great. Lightning Strike is nice, but not gonna do it. Gonna need more than that. And this is really fun card to draw here. All these life gain triggers, we're gonna gain 2 life because of Night of Dawn's Light, so that's super fun. Just taking it even further out of range for Mono Red. Okay, there's the Godric. But this should be lights out. And we have enough to pump twice to make it a 4/4 even if he has tricks. So we're just going to go ahead and send in everybody and see what he does. All right, let's see what he's got. Now we're going to gain 3 life a pop, which is super fun, with the double Knight of Dawn's Light and the triggers. Yep, that's going to do it. Okay, we are now 3-1. So far so good. Yeah, I love this opening hand. We've got access to 1s and 2 drops. Still need red mana for our 3, but feel very happy to keep this. All right, we'll go ahead and lead out with a Knight of Dawn's Light. Happy to go ahead and offer the trade, see if he's up for it. Don't think he will be, but that's fine. And we're getting the extra point of life off the Knight, so that's kind of fun. Coppercoat Vanguard feels great. He could have the counterspell here, as this deck does run counters. Yeah, looks like he had to make Disappear ready. So I guess maybe it would have been better to try to go for the Veteran, knowing he was holding that up. But it could have also been Resolute Reinforcements, so kind of hard to know. And no attacks, very oddly. So he is holding up, it looks like, another counterspell. Would like to resolve the Knight of Dawn's Light, but I think getting the other Lunarch Veteran going is worth it, considering he does have just a bunch of 1 toughness creatures. So I think I'm going to go ahead and send in first, see what he does. I suppose if he has Resolute Reinforcements, I think we're still okay trading this for like half a card just to get it into the air. Don't know if he knows how First Strike works. Okay, Sentinel makes sense. It's fine. And we'll go here and be mana efficient with another Knight of Dawn's Light. Okay, so full tokens. I think I'm going to get the life gain trigger before attacking. Although actually, yeah, so he's tapped out, so I'm not worried about anything for our knights here. So let's go ahead and get the life gain trigger. And then we can push to everybody. Okay, wedding announcement number 2. All right, well now we got our mana, but we're in some trouble here. Especially the wedding announcements and Harbin coming. We are at 25, which is nice. So yeah, I think here we just go ahead and Borrowed Time the Knight Errant and start pushing in. Hopefully start making a dent. I think Harbin checks for soldiers, right? So he's only got 2 soldiers in play so far. Kind of want to like take out one of these wedding announcements, but I think we have to take out the Knight Errant here and keep pushing. We could have left one of our guys back, actually. Maybe leaving like one back to stop the recruiter. But I feel like we are making a fair amount of life, too. So it's... yeah, I could see it either way. Kind of want to get the damage in before we can't and all these creatures start growing. So we do have access to double pump for our Knight of Dawn's Light, which is super important to be able to keep pushing. He does have Zephyr Sentinel here, so he can bring back. He gets basically a free block. He'll probably do it on the Harbin, which will force a single pump, which is, again, kind of annoying, but I think that... we probably want to... I guess we could also... yeah, we want to wait for him to use this before we Borrowed Time. So I guess we just push first and then see what he does. Okay, Bodyguard. So we could pump once just so our guy doesn't die and then play our veteran. We could double pump and get them both. He is representing a lot of damage coming in next turn. He's got, yeah, still only 3 soldiers, but he is representing a fair amount of damage here. I think we just double pump here and take out his tokens. So he's representing 16 damage coming in. We drop down to 3. I think, yeah, we do want to block here. So now if we Borrowed Time his Bodyguard, could get back our Knight. We're still dying in the air is the problem. He's pushing a ton of damage in the air, and he's still got his Sentinel, so I think it's unfortunately just lights out. A little bit too low. Yeah, because he just swings over for the win. Could make some chump blockers here, but we're not pushing enough. I think this one is just over, unfortunately. Okay, 2 and 2, or 3 and 2, excuse me. So, let's see if we can push it a little farther. Okay, opening hand looks great. We've got some action. We have some removal. Access to both colors. And I think we'll just lead out here with a Knight of Dawn's Light. Okay, he could have the counterspell here, but I think we just try for it anyways. If he's got it, he's got it. Okay, and we'll go ahead and find our mountain. All right, so it looks like he might be on temporary lockdown. We do have the borrowed time for it, which is kind of nice, so I'm not as worried about it as I would normally be. If he has Depopulate, on the other hand, could be problematic. So if we, let's see, if we Vanguard here, we could push 3, 6, 10, 11. We can still push for 5, 7, 9. So I think we just push with what we've got. He could have, actually, I think I'm going to play the Vanguard because I want to play around Smite here. So he won't be able to smite the Vanguard if we play a Copper Coat. Then I am going to hold back the Officer and just pump one time with the Knight, just in case he does have the Depopulate. Tap land is not going to do it, though. So he still could have the temporary lockdown. If we borrowed time one of his tokens, we're pushing 9. Otherwise, we just push 6, which is still pretty good, but yeah, I think we just send and hold back borrowed time in case he's got the temporary lockdown. So I think we just push with what we've got. Could also have Sunfall here, so we'll be ready to refill. So I'm not sure that I want to play the Veteran. I think we just sit. Okay, so we did have depopulate. But now we can play everything out, so I kind of like that. I guess we could have held the mountain and played their informant first, but I do want to play out all of our threats. I guess you could have like a sunfall here too. So I guess let's start with informant and see where that goes. Okay, I think we just pitched the plans. Yeah, I'm a little bit leery about playing officer, but the thing is, if we don't, he can just hold us back with his anchorage. So I think it's worth running it out there. We are walking into potential sunfall, though. If he has the back-to-back sweepers, then that might do it. All right, so he's representing Wandering Emperor, but I think that's fine. We push some damage here. And Sunrise Cavalier feels pretty good here. And now, I think post-combat, let's go ahead and see if we can buff up the informant. Veteran's not great, but it's better than a basic land, so I'll take it. So we could have Wandering Emperor, or just removal plus blocking with the anchorage. Either way is fine. I think that let's try to spread out our damage and maybe see if we can pump up the Phantom here. Or I guess we could pump up Informant to see if it can beat out his anchorage. But let's play our Cavalier first so we can play around any kind of counters. Yeah, and I think let's just pump up the Informant here. Yeah, so I guess this is a situation where, in hindsight, maybe it would have been better to put in the Phantom. I was just thinking about it beating out the anchorage, but if he had like anchorage plus a removal. But yeah, hindsight would have been better to put on the Phantom. We would have exactly killed him there. Here, I think we're drawing into Officer, so I'm happy to drop Veteran in case he's got like another depopulate. And then if he makes a token, we can borrowed time the token. Okay, so let's borrowed time a token. And then we're happy to make some trades here. And again, since we've got recruitment officer, we'll go ahead and just run out the other veteran. That way we can use this to refill if he does another board wipe. Okay, so he does have the Sunfall. And we've got the borrowed time ready for his token, but let's go ahead and see if we can draw some cards first. And Amadan's Recruiter is perfect. Okay, so now we can Recruiter plus Officer, see if we can get there. If he has another piece of removal on hand, could be a problem, but I think it's our best bet. It's gonna do it. So yeah, the power of Recruiter shining through. All right, 4 and 2. See if we can play out for the big bucks. Our hand's a little bit slow, but we've got all the colors we need. Looks good to me. Okay, that is a very welcome sight, some untapped mana. So we could Knight of Dawn's Light to try and deal with his Kumano, but if he's got Mantis Rage, it just beats it out. So I think we're better off just ossifying his Swift Spear, since we know it's going to be a problem. I guess if he's got Squee here, it's kind of rough. I guess he has Godric. Okay. So I think we just borrowed time. We could, or actually, we could Tap land plus ossification feels pretty good. We won't gain 2 life since we won't have Dawn's Light in play, but I think that's the best use of our mana. Now I think we go probably Informant plus Knight of Dawn's Light. That's fine. This guy will be good later. Wow. Kind of want everything. Like, I want the Bard Time for sure. I want the other land. Copper Coat is nice. Huh. I think we actually don't need the Recruiter necessarily. I mean, it's very good, certainly. Copper Coat helps build up the Baird. We can do that with Knight of Dawn's Light, I suppose. So maybe we get rid of the Copper Coat here. Oof. Ooh, super nice draw here from red. So we could do Recruiter to get 2 blockers dropped to 1. It's pretty dangerous to drop to 1 against mono red, but we don't have a whole lot. Actually, never mind. He's got a Wicked. So I guess if we go Recruiter plus Bard Time on the Phoenix, we drop down to 2, and then can block 1 of his creatures. That's probably the best bet. Yep, that's gonna do it, unfortunately. A little bit too much from mono red. All right, thanks guys for watching. Yeah, we didn't quite get there. We went 4-3, so still, I guess, slightly positive record. But yeah, just wanted to kind of show you sort of a budget deck, see what you thought. So let's take a look here at the stats. Yeah, so just quick recap here. We went 4-3, 57% win rate, and ended up doing 1-1 against blue-white, 1-1 against mono-red. We lost 2 Selesnya enchantments. Then we beat out a blue-green deck and a Golgari deck. So thanks guys for watching. And again, if you like my content, consider subscribing. And you're seeing, you know, the real gameplay, wins and losses. We'll see you next time.